Hey folks, this is Freestyle Football, a free-to-play game available on Steam, done by the same studio that made Freestyle 2 Street Basketball, which is another free-to-play game also available on Steam, which I did enjoy and put about 30 hours in. This is pretty much the same game, but the football version of it. You create a character, select your position, then go and play some 4 versus 4 multiplayer matches with the AI controlling the goalkeeper. This game can be a lot of fun, and if you're a new player, it generously rewards you with a lot of points, which is the currency here, as well as experience points to level your character up. Do keep in mind that these bonuses can only be used once, so if you create another character, you'll have quite a bit of grinding to do to catch up. This game unfortunately retains the same anime-style cel-shaded aesthetic as its basketball counterpart, but the gameplay is solid enough to look past it. Yet, it does look completely retarded. You have goalkeepers with swords through their chests, and others with Roman armor, and there is also an outfit made of chocolate as a login reward. You'll probably feel embarrassed if you're caught playing this, but the gameplay is solid and is definitely worth trying out. Plays like a decent football game, and I also feel that it is more stats driven than skill driven. Each position has its role, and if you know how real football works, then you should understand this game right away. Defenders defend, midfielders set up passes, and forwards score. Once you hit level 40, you can select a specialized class for your position. Like sweepers for defenders, you can have offensive, defensive side midfielders, and second strikers for forwards. Selecting one of these positions gives you an overall huge boost to most of your attributes. As you play matches and level up, you'll gain bonuses to your position's main attributes. You'll also gain points and cards after matches that can improve your player further. You can equip up to 3 cards that will give you a percentage boost to one stat and a flat boost to another. Cards can also be upgraded by using 6 of the same one to create a card that is 1 grade higher. With points, you can use them to purchase skills, cosmetic items that also increase attribute points, as well as training that can potentially upgrade all of your stats by an additional 3 points, and this training process can be repeated every 10 levels. The problem here is that the training has a potential to fail. Every time you train an attribute, you have a chance to increase the skill up to a maximum of 3 points. You can also just get a bad roll and gain 0 stats, effectively wasting the points you just spent. At level 10, these upgrades cost 500 points every single time. At level 40, they start costing 2,000 points. Meanwhile, you only earn 500 to 600 points per game. This is just bullshit. To make matters worse, you're limited to 6 skill slots. If you want more, you have to pay real money. This is completely unfair and completely pay to fucking win. Currently, there's a login reward system that lasts for 7 days, and on the 7th day, you unlock a new skill slot for free. But the login rewards end there. There are no more rewards. This is probably the only free-to-play game that I've played that has such a retarded reward system. I mean, usually free-to-play games that have login rewards have a never-ending system, and logging in consecutively every single day earns you, overall, much better rewards the more times you log in. It's a good system to have, because not only do you have player-based retention, but you also reward players with free shit that they would otherwise have to pay for with either real money or in-game currency. The developers here, on the other hand, thought it was a good idea to say fuck off after 7 days. That's a brilliant strategy to have. Back to the skill slots. Each new slot costs 600 coins, which can be purchased with real money. This is the equivalent of $6 fucking dollars per slot. The game doesn't even give you a discount if you're buying this currency in bulk. Therefore, 500 coins is $5, 1,000 coins is $10, and 5,000 coins is $50. What the fuck were they thinking? The gameplay is solid and fun as long as everyone knows their role, what they're doing, and are not experiencing any lag. The problem here is that you will almost never have the satisfaction to experience this. I quit playing Dota because after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the US East server turns into a fucking Peruvian server, despite the fact that those assholes have their own fucking South American server that they refuse to play on. I have very limited free time, and I try to make the best use of it by having an enjoyable experience, which is why I stopped playing Dota, as it was nothing but frustrating and rage-inducing. Freestyle Football also has a South American server, but all of those retards decide to play on the North American one instead. I've rarely encountered an actual American during matchmaking, and the South Americans have awful ping, usually fail to load or disconnect, and the best part is you can't reconnect to a match if you've disconnected. So the AI takes over, which is terrible. They also don't speak English, and apparently they don't know a single fucking thing about football. The population count is very low. I do not know if this game has a standalone separate client or if it requires Steam to play it, but usually at around 9 p.m., once again Eastern Standard Time, there's somewhere between 500 to 600 players that are split across 4 servers, according to Steam stats. Most people have an ego problem here and think they're hot shit, so they pick the forward position. Defenders are the rarest position you'll come across in pubs. I assume that you can see what the problem here is here. You have a low player count, with the majority playing the forward position. Since the game logically matches up at least one player of each position, you can expect queue times to be as long as 15 minutes, possibly even longer. With such a low population, you'll play either players who just installed the game and have no idea what they're doing, or against experienced players whose team elo is 200 points higher than yours. The former will probably rage quit after losing, thinking they just played against a pay-to-win team, when in reality neither me nor any of my friends spent any actual money in this game. We're simply higher-leveled characters, which means our stats are significantly higher. Meanwhile, if you play against the latter, you will not have any fun, since you literally can't do anything, since their stats are so much higher than yours. The community, at least on the North American server side, is not only significantly Spanish language dominated, but toxic as fuck, while not knowing how to play the fucking game. Everyone plays a forward thinking they're fucking Lionel fucking Messi, while missing every shot and getting every possession stolen from them, because they're so mentally challenged that they're not able to realize that this is a passing game. There are very few dribbling skills, and it is incredibly easy to steal the ball. Instead of passing, they run in, face first, 1 into 3, unsurprisingly get the ball stolen from them, and then spam question marks or curse at you either in broken English or Spanish when the enemy team scores, as if it's your fucking fault that this just happened. Then they either AFK or sit and keep typing on their keyboard instead of playing the actual game, which sometimes results in another score for the opposing team, or they continue to troll by hogging the ball every time they receive it and never pass it and never score. In 20 hours of gameplay, this has been my experience 99% of the time. I have only encountered 2 players that actually know what the fuck they were doing, apologized when they fucked up, and didn't blame anyone else for when they made a mistake. 2 fucking players. And this is me queuing up with 2 to 3 of my friends and getting an additional 1 or 2 pubs. I can only imagine that if I were to solo queue, the entire experience would be nothing but a spam of pendejo, papi chulo culo, and el chupacabra. Not only that, but when you play with these South Americans, which you will be playing with and against 99% of the time, at least if you're playing on North American servers, their ping is so awful that they will constantly lag out. And guess what? The netcode is so fucking atrocious that it is actually to their benefit. When they are lagging, you can't steal the ball from them, and if they shoot, most of the time it goes in. Players and the ball will constantly teleport around the fucking map, and to these people, somehow to them, this is apparently an enjoyable experience. Folks, I personally can't stomach a multiplayer game if my ping is over at 80. But these people seem to think that playing with 300 ping on a server that is much farther than their continental one is an enjoyable experience. I want to like this game. I really do. When you have a cohesive team where everybody knows what they're doing, the game is extremely fun and satisfying. Unfortunately, those moments are very rare. On the NA servers, most of the population is from South America. They are toxic, they are laggy, and they don't understand basic football logic or English. The last match that I played was last night. A South American told me to split my legs open because I'm using a female character. Yes, my character is woman. I usually name my characters after ones from Aliens, but in reality, I'm a hairy fucking guy. Why exactly does he want to split my legs open? Does he want to suck my cock and balls? The game also has pay-to-win elements, with additional skill slots being only unlockable with real money. Lastly, it's a huge grind, as you will constantly waste points in unsuccessfully attempting to upgrade your attributes. The only way that I could recommend this game would be for the sole, selfish purpose of introducing new people to it so that the population can increase, as I actually do enjoy the gameplay when it does rarely work. With more players, matchmaking problems and queue times should be resolved, and matches should be more balanced and fair. But the developers, they're not advertising or marketing this game or doing anything to promote it. It's as if they don't fucking care. If you check the Steam forums, you'll see a bunch of copy-paste generic customer service responses from the devs regarding matchmaking issues and that they're working on them. These responses go months back and they still haven't done a single fucking thing. Unless something is done to increase the population, Freestyle Football will die in a few months. It's kind of shocking to see that their basketball counterpart, which is over 2 years old, has an active player base that is over 1,000 more players than this one. And it's even more shocking to see that the same exact devs don't seem to be scratching their heads wondering how they can resolve this problem. Also, the controller controls are fucking terrible. And even if you're using a controller, the game will not show you prompts on how to use the skills with your controller. It will always display keyboard controls. What the fuck? Who in their right mind plays a sports game with a fucking keyboard?
Breakneck code this game's got. This guy's lagging, I think.
Goal! Amazing goal! Amazing pass! Sorry.
I wanted to see the lag.
Find your mark.